11 minutes after 9. Thanks for being with us on Live at 9. Nearly $900 million in incentives for the Ford Motor Company as it plans a huge West Tennessee plant. Plus, a couple of interesting measures designed to battle COVID restrictions.
And now Tennessee state lawmakers are expected to return to the Capitol for yet another special session to address other COVID-related items. To discuss all of that and much more, we are live with Republican State Senator Brian Kelsey of Germantown and Democratic Representative Antonio Parkinson of Memphis. Gentlemen, welcome back to Live at 9. Good to see you this morning. Let's first and foremost talk about the Ford incentive package. Very expensive to say the least, but Representative Parkinson, is it the right thing for us to do right now?
It absolutely is. It's a great investment for our state. We're excited about it. We're talking about 6,000 jobs. The average pay, if I'm not mistaken, at Ford is $90,000 per year. And so hopefully, Ford will come in and change the way things are being done in Tennessee manufacturing, because I think the average pay for manufacturing jobs here in Tennessee might be $18 an hour to $30 to $20 an hour, something like that. But hopefully, that'll change. We're excited about them coming in. Ford has a great track record, in working with unions and union membership. And, hopefully, we can keep the state out of dictating to these businesses what they should and should not do, and come in here and get some jobs in here and help to build up an area that has been, impoverished for a very, very long time.
Senator Kelsey, what about you? The right package at the right time, or do you have any reservations about it?
Absolutely, this was the right move. I'm glad to see that we had bipartisan support of this legislation. It is an investment in our future. I mean, there are many of us who feel that in West Tennessee that we've been left behind, or that at times we've been forgotten by the state government in Nashville, and that's no longer the case. This is a huge investment from the state government into West Tennessee. These are jobs that are, as Representative Parkinson says, they're high-paying jobs for Ford. They're building electric cars in the future, and there are thousands of them. It's really a huge win for all of us.
Is it a problem that typically auto manufacturers are union? They're supportive of unions. We, of course, are a right-to-work state, not supportive of unions in general. Senator Kelsey, you first.
Well, I think the fact that we're a right-to-work state is one of the main reasons why we got this huge project and why we've gotten so many other auto projects here in the state over the last 10, 20 years. And in fact, time after time, just including the Volkswagen plant in Chattanooga last year, workers have voted not to join a union. And I think that will be the case with the Ford plant as well.
Representative Parkinson, your thoughts on that?
I'm excited about Ford's track record with unions. I'm excited about Ford's track record with diversity and minority contracting. So, we look forward to it. Now, one of the things that the ECD commissioner did make mention of was the fact that none of this stuff was involved in the conversations with Ford coming here made it attractive for Ford to come here. And we want Ford to come in here and do their thing, do what they've been doing, working with the union members and having great pay, safe places for our union members to work. And we're excited about that. We just need Tennessee legislature to stay out of the way, let them do what they do.
All right. Well, it seems like everybody was on the same page for the most part regarding the Ford incentive package. But let's also talk about the upcoming special legislative session dealing with COVID-19. And we know Governor Lee has not been supportive of calling lawmakers back to kind of deal with this. But Senator Kelsey, what's your stand on this, dealing with some of the mandates, the opt-out controversy as well?
Well, I am one of the legislators who signed a letter to bring us back into a special session regarding COVID-19, and I think it's important just to support people's freedoms. I mean, look, personally, I'm vaccinated. I'm very, very open and public about it. I encourage others to do the same thing, but at the same time, there are some who for personal health reasons or religious reasons have decided not to, or because perhaps they actually got COVID-19 and have natural immunity. And we need to respect those people's freedoms as well. And I think that this Biden administration attack on that needs to be dealt with on the state level, and we've got to fight back for people's freedoms here in Tennessee.
I'm curious, though, again, back to the status as a right-to-work state, how that fits into it, because in a right-to-work state, employers can mandate a whole lot of things. They have a lot of control over their employees. So how is that not inconsistent to support an employer's right to say you have to be vaccinated to work here in a right to work state?
Well, look, we stand up for the freedoms of all Tennesseans, and that means your freedom to choose whether or not you want to join a union. That's why I hope people and expect that this state will vote in favor of my right to work constitutional amendment next November. And we also stand up and respect the personal freedoms of people to make a decision about their very deeply personal health decisions on whether to get vaccines or have them forced on them. And so I think rather than seeing a focus on private businesses next week, I think what you will instead see is a focus on fighting back against the federal government trying to mandate this on individuals.
Okay,
So,
Representative Parkinson.
we can tell you are eager to weigh in on this. What's your stance?
Yeah, it's always when it's convenient for the rhetoric, right? And so now it's convenient for the rhetoric that actually runs counter to right to work. So these businesses should have the ability to mandate vaccine if they want their businesses to operate safely. And regardless, let's say airlines, let's say FedEx Forum, let's say the Grizzlies or the Titans. If they want their fans to be safe, they should be able to say, hey, you need to have a vaccine or be able to show proof of your vaccine or proof of a test. And then here's the killer part, fighting these Biden, quote unquote, Biden issues. Number one, President Biden did not mandate a vaccine. He said, get a vaccine or get tested. You have choices. And so you have the choice to get tested. And then there's nothing wrong with that. And, I stopped short of mandating a vaccine to people. But if you have an option, and if that option is being tested every week, then you exercise that option. But your freedoms stop where mine began. And let's not forget that, and especially for all of these libertarians, quote unquote, libertarians, when it's convenient, they use these things in this rhetoric only when it benefits the side of the argument that they want to use it for.
Very quickly here, what about the governor's opt-out proposal there that has really garnered so much criticism and some support on both sides? Where do you stand on that? Will that be discussed?
Well, I don't know if that was for me, but I jump in here. The governor is 0-5 in the courts right now. So hopefully they'll stand down and let the courts continue to work, help decide these arbitrary arguments, and look, here's what's important to note about that. If we're in the middle of an emergency, those emergency powers, from what I understand, are to be utilized to mitigate the emergency, not exasperate the emergency. And that's what that order did. It exasperated an emergency. It did not help to stop the spread of the COVID virus in the emergency. So to me, that might be an abuse of power.
All right, Senator Kelsey, if I can ask for a one-word answer from both of you on unemployment checks to people who quit their jobs because they do not want to get the vaccine, yes or no? Senator Kelsey first.
I think that's an issue that we're going to be discussed, but I want to hear both sides before I commit at this point.
All right, Representative?
No.
All right.